As I turned off the water and stepped out of the shower, I reached for my towel and I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror and I was horrified. Where did this come from? How did this happen? Could this be what is going on? And I noticed that I had this midlife belly that I didn't have yesterday. It literally seemed like it created itself overnight, and I was horrified. What was I going to do? What did I do to create this? What even is this? And as I was contemplating this, I thought, man, it's for somebody who's was a personal trainer for 16 years. I'm a holistic nutritionist, a life coach. I help women master midlife. How could I have created this for myself? And I was determined to find out what was going on with my body. And when I did, I was going to share it with everybody. So today, ladies, I want to talk about midlife bellies because it is a thing. And we literally wake up one day with this belly that wasn't there yesterday. It's not your imagination. There's nothing wrong with you. You haven't done anything to create this. I want you to know that this is a part of midlife. So take a deep breath, grab a seat, grab a tea, and let's talk about this. When you are in midlife, you need to know that the whole process of going through menopause can take from 7 to 10 years. What the actual heck? I didn't know this until I started researching it. From the time of when your body starts to change to when it has totally completed the change and rebalanced itself. 7 to 10 years. Now, that is a long time. So I feel it would be good to know what's going on with your body. And here's what's going on. As you go from your reproductive years, where our body stores fat on your hips and thighs area, to going into what the classical Chinese medicine calls the second spring, which is where you go into wisdom and community and sharing and self-love, all of that fun stuff. Your body store fat storage changes to the stomach area. Now, it's doing this on purpose. It's doing this to all women in midlife, not just you. It's not just you. It's really important that you know this so you don't beat yourself up, so that you don't shame yourself. This happens to all women in midlife. And what's happening is our hormones regulate our whole body. And so our weight is no different. Our hormones regulate our weight. We have four main players in this category. We have insulin, which tells our body to store fat. We have cortisol, which is our stress hormone. We have ghrelin, which is our hunger hormone, and leptin, which is our satiety hormone, which tells us that we're good, we've had enough. And so it's these hormones that regulate our weight gain and our weight loss and our fat storage. And when we get into midlife, our estrogen levels start to change. So at the beginning, when we're in perimenopause, our estrogen levels are going up and down, and it's kind of like a crazy roller coaster ride that's happening. And then when we start to get more into menopause, our estrogen levels have dropped, and now our body is trying to balance it out. So it's all based on hormones. And when we have more insulin in our body says, oh, store as fat, store as fat, store the sugars as fat. And then when we have more cortisol going on in our body, that's the stress hormone, it tells our body to release more insulin. And when we release more insulin, stores fat, stores fat. So when we're stressed, our body is designed to naturally store more fat. So we have these hormones that are regulating our body, where we store our fat. Hormones regulate where we store our fat, when we store it, how we process it, how long it takes to process it. Like that is all hormone driven. So of course, when we have all this hormone disruption going on in our body, of course it's going to affect our weight. So we go from storing it in our hips and thighs to storing it in our stomach area. And this is more visceral fat. This also gets stored around organs. And so this fat starts to get dangerous because it is highly inflammatory. When we start to gain store fat in our midsection, it also can lead to diseases like high blood pressure, uh, higher sugar levels, heart disease, certain cancers. And so we want to, not just for cosmetic reasons, but for health reasons in general, we want to make sure we take care of this. As we get older, our metabolism slows down. So our metabolism goes from, a super fast pace to slowing right down, and we lose like mm, 5% per decade, 5% of our metabolism per decade. So every 10 years, our metabolism is slowing down quite a bit, actually. And so we are also losing muscle mass. And as we lose muscle mass, we burn less calories because muscles just in our natural state need more calories need more for energy than fat does. So as our muscles start to dissipate, we don't burn as many calories with our fat. So there's a couple of reasons why our metabolism slows down. And our bone density, we lose bone density. So when we get into menopause, over the years, we lose like 1 to 2% every year through menopause. So we have all these things going on. When our hormones are off balance, we get hot flashes, we get mood swings, we get irritable, our body changes, our body odor changes, our sleep changes, like everything is going off at once. And so menopause is not just one thing, it's an accumulation of many, many things. And remember, this process can take 7 to 10 years. So we want to make sure that we create a safe place in our brain for this to happen over 7 to 10 years. We want to make sure that we got it going on, that we're paying attention to what's going on, and we know that this is going to happen. So we don't want to beat ourselves up. We want to make sure that we create this safe place going, yes, my body is supposed to do this. It's okay. I'm just going to create a safe place for this to happen. So if we don't change anything over those years, then yes, we're going to store that fat. What happens for women is we literally wake up one day, we have this belly fat going on, and we're thinking to ourselves, but I haven't changed what was working. It was working before, and now it's not changing. What's going on? And that's the problem is our body is changing. So we do have to change our procedures, our plans, um, our routines so that we can get rid of this fat storage in the belly area. And hormones remember, they drive our hunger cues. Like no willpower will stop the evolutionary drive of hunger. We're supposed to be hungry. Hunger isn't the problem. We need to be hungry because we need to know when to eat to survive. And so it's not that that's the problem. What we want to do is really break down all the different things that are happening and make changes according to that. When we go through these hormonal changes, everything is compounded. And when you go through menopause from say 40 to 65, 65% of women become obese in this process. And if once you're deep into menopause over 65, 74% of women become obese because of menopause. 3/4 are morbidly obese at the end of menopause. So the average weight gain is 15 pounds through those years of going through menopause. And what's happening is your body is trying to adapt to those crazy estrogen levels. Our body is nature, and nature is an adaptogen. Nature is always trying to go with the flow and balance itself out. That's what our body, when it's in homeostasis just means it's balanced out. It's all in balance. It's all good. And so we want to try to create the best space possible for our body, give our body as much, ammunition and backup to balance its hormones out because the estrogen is going up and down in perimenopause, and then it goes down and stays down. And that's when we get into menopause. And now our body is just searching for more estrogen, and it takes a while for it to get used to not having that much estrogen. And so, how it reacts with testosterone and everything is off balance, and it's balancing itself out. And so, when we store this fat in our stomach and it becomes inflammatory, we want to make sure that we get rid of it so that we're not um, making it a place for those other diseases to grow, to think that it's a good place for them to start up these diseases. I don't even know what I just said, but you know what I'm trying to say is that we want to make sure that we get rid of this fat so we don't encourage these other diseases to happen. And so we are losing our metabolism, we're losing our muscle, our hormones are changing. So what do we do? How do we hold this space for ourselves? I think like um what what one of the main things to understand is that you can do things about it. It seems like it's just happening to you, but you can be in charge. Um, the solutions are many, and when you do all of them, they're accumulative, and they will get you the result that you want. Just the same way that menopause is happening for many, all these other things are happening to create this accumulation of menopause. So when we look at what we need to do, the number one thing is we need to change the way we eat. We need to change the way we eat. We need to make some positive lifestyle changes because this is to be expected. We want to be proactive. We know it's going to happen. The rules of the game have changed and we just want to up our game. So the number one thing is to hack our hormones through food, focusing on the quality of our food. Calories in, calories out, it is not a thing because all calories are not created equal. So forget about that. What we want to think about is getting as much nutritionally dense foods into our body as possible on the calorie density scale. So if you don't know anything about calorie density, please go listen to my masterclass because it explains everything. And we want to focus on calorie density. Calorie density basically is how many calories per pound of food or how easy it is to overeat on a food. That's what calorie density is. And there's a scale. And when we stay to the low side of the calorie density scale with nutritionally dense foods, that is how we can beat this thing. That is how we can balance our hormones quickly and efficiently. So there's other things that we want to do as well that will help you. You want to move your body for 30 minutes a day. Now, it used to be kill yourself at the gym, do the boot camp, all these things, run on the treadmill. It's not that. It's been proven actually that if you do those HIIT workouts and you cause your body a lot of stress, it will tend to store fat because remember, the stress hormone is cortisol. And when cortisol is released, insulin is released, and insulin tells your body to store fat. So when I say move your body for 30 minutes a day, what I mean is move it in a way that feels good for you. Move it in a way that you're moving it like that because it is fun for you. You enjoy it. For example, I like to play tennis. I like to go bike riding. I like to go walking. I like to go hiking. These are fun ways for me to move my body for 30 minutes. I love to dance. And so I'm not going for a run because my physical body doesn't allow me to run. We really want to change the perception of what our body can do and what we should be doing in order to help our body not store fat in the midsection. And so finding things that are fun for you to do that include moving your body for 30 minutes a day are that's a win. So it could be yoga, it could be swimming, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be a stationary bike. Just move your body for 30 minutes every day in a way that feels good for you. I want to also say that Qigong is amazing for women in midlife. If you're having hot flashes, you can actually find a Qigong protocol that will stop the flash in its tracks. And if you do it every day, it will prevent them from happening. So research qigong and find somebody that you like on YouTube and follow them and look up specifically qigong for hot flashes or whatever you're working on, because qigong is based on moving your energy and your flow, and that's what this whole process is about: rebalancing your energy, rebalancing your hormones. And qigong is a prime way to do that, and it's easy to do, and it is actually really fun to do when you get into it. The other way is you want to lower your insulin and cortisol levels. So remember, that's de-stressing. Also, the insulin, to lower your insulin levels, the number one way to do that is by your food. So you don't want to eat any processed sugars. So you want to avoid sugar, flour, and oils. Oils because it's high on calorie density, sugar because it spikes your insulin, same as flour. Sugar and flour are just ground into nothingness, and when they enter your system, it just spikes your insulin, your sugar levels, which causes more insulin because your body doesn't have to process it, so it just floods your system with the glucose. But remember, a lot of people will ask me if fruit is okay, because fruit has fructose, which is a naturally occurring sugar, but it has the fiber. So yes, fruit is totally fine and it does not spike your insulin like sugar does. So get rid of anything processed, sugar, flours, and oils. And then just eat whole, clean foods, fruits, vegetables. They're super low on the calorie density scale. And then you've got your starches. You want to eat your potatoes, your sweet potatoes. You can have your rice, your oats, all of that kind of stuff. But again, watch my Eat More, Lose Weight in Midlife Masterclass, because it explains all of this in great detail, and it's amazing. You can actually eat more food and lose that midlife belly. So we want to lower our insulin and cortisol levels, and we can do that by grounding. So it is scientifically proven that you get energy from the earth. And when we're walking around in our shoes all day, we're disconnected from Mother Earth. And there's nothing more relaxing and appealing and satisfying than having your feet right on the earth. So you can walk in grass, you can just put your feet in the water, in the sand, it doesn't matter. But 20 minutes a day of your feet on the earth is amazing. It helps you to get back to your circadian rhythm. It helps to reduce stress, and it helps to um, balance your energy system. And meditation is very similar. So, meditation through moving, meditation through breathing, meditation through sound, through singing, all of those types of things. You want to de stress. And one of the best ways to de stress is to avoid social media, the news, all that kind of junk. That's just fear mongering. So, if you can totally ditch that out of your life forever, on a like, never look at that kind of stuff, then you're doing really well. So de-stressing, getting rid of all of the things in your life that raise those cortisol levels. You could think positive. When you're changing your hormones, a lot of it, that there's two ways that you change your hormones: through your food and through your thought process. Because when you think something, it elicits a feeling in your body, and those feelings can release hormones and create those hormones. So there is nothing more powerful than knowing that you're controlling your hormones through your thought process and your food process. That means you are in charge. And the best way to do that is by creating a safe space off the bat, going, I know that this is a long process and it's naturally occurring. Nothing's gone wrong. And I'm going to hold a space in my brain and my heart for my body to go through changes and to love my body through it. Yeah, there might be a while where I have this little belly, but if I follow my protocols and trust and stay with it, that will go away, and it will go away. And the more you do these things that I'm telling you every day, the quicker it goes away, and the quicker you'll go through the process of balancing your hormones out. So remember, the number one is hacking your hormones through food. Whole, clean foods, low on the calorie density scale. Go watch my masterclass. It will help you through that. But I really want us as women to talk more about this, because I have conversations with midlife women every single day. And this is the number one thing that comes up that people don't want to talk about in front of other people, because they think it's them. They think they've done something wrong, or that they're lazy or eating bad foods or not trying hard enough. But in fact, it's an evolutionary process. Your body is designed to do this. It's supposed to do it. And the best thing that you can do is hack your hormones through your food. Not count your calories, but eat nutritionally dense foods that allow your whole body to balance itself out as fast as humanly possible. So for me personally, doing this process, it was short and sweet because I've always been proactive and eaten healthy, clean foods, and I upped my game even when I was going through menopause, and it allowed me to go through it gracefully. It wasn't as, painful as I thought it was gonna be because of all the work I had put in ahead of time. And this is possible for you too. So please know that you haven't done anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. You're on the right track. Just create that space, that safe space in your brain, and know that you can do this through your diet and your mindset. Thank you for listening. Always, always, always love yourself first and have an amazing day.